And welcome back to the Best Damn Nerd Show, giving John the rest of the night off because he's not watching what we're about to talk about, which is, of course, Loki, or Low T, as I like to call it, aired its penultimate episode of the series this past week. And Davis and I have been dutifully watching along and sort of opposite sides of the coin on how much we've been enjoying it.
You don't speak for me.
That's why I said opposite sides of the coin.
I know, but you don't know how much I'm enjoying or not enjoying it. Maybe I switched this episode. Maybe I hate it now.
I saw your comments in Discord, bestdamnnerdshow.com/Discord, if you too wish to opine. But yes, we're going to be talking about Loki. Thank God it is almost done because it is plummeting week over week, and it is. This week, I left with the impression that it is worse than the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and that's where I have come down on. It is of the 3 Disney Plus MCU series that we've gotten so far, Loki is now the worst, in my opinion, that we've got. Yeah, you blink all you want at the camera, Davis. That's what I'm coming out.
Hell?
But before we get into episode 5. That's just the juice goose, baby. But before we get into the dirty detail of episode 5, you were not on last week, and Imperial Commissar Jeff Budd has rightfully recused himself from watching this derivative drivel. So we could not discuss Loki. I, as the sin eater of the Best Damn Nerd Show, am consuming it. What did you think of last week's episode before we get into the most current?
Man, I am trying to think what was last week's
episode. Really? Because it's so boring you can't remember?
No, because it's all one fluid, good story that I'm like,
I'm dead, but nobody cares. The timekeepers are robots.
No, that was the fifth. That was the 5th episode.
That was 4.
That was 5.
No, that was 4 when they had the fight in the room.
That was 4. That was 4. Okay, now I know where I'm at. Here we go. Okay. Episode 4 was actually probably second weakest of the series so far. But I will say it brought more intrigue to me for the TVA, which this is still my driving point, is that they are still, it's still the mystery box, it's the J.J. Abrams, what's in the box, but I actually feel like I'm going to know what's in the freaking box this time, which is great, because after this 5th episode, I definitely feel like we're going to get some resolution to this at some point.
Well, the through line from 4 and 5 that I will be bringing up is related to the TVA and this whole we're variants, and how quickly in episodes 4 and 5, characters that are supposed to have depth or long-standing loyalty to the TVA are just like, oh my God, this variant just blew my mind. Now I'm going to betray everything I've ever known. Really bad.
It's called shocking evidence, bro. When you find it, it's called science. When you get facts, you change opinions.
I mean, coming from the
when I have good information, I change my opinion.
Yeah, I understand that, but it's just the level to which not only do they turn on the TVA, but are so blindly in support of 2 Loki variants is hilariously bad. It's so stupid. But let's shut that variant dog up. Before I prune it. But let's get into episode 5, Journey into Mystery. So let's get into it. The second to last episode of Loki. Davis, your thoughts. You said in Discord that it was the best episode of the series. I will cede the floor to you so you so that both sides can be represented here. What did you like about it?
I just had fun. Like this was like the first episode where I felt like we were having fun with Loki of what his character could be, and all the characters he has been or never has been when it's alligator Loki, which was very fun to me. But no, and it had a lot of tie-ins to Marvel properties. I really enjoyed the visuals, and I felt like I think we're gonna very much differ on this. I actually felt like the writing was very good in this episode. and I know, again from Discord,
Dude,
that you did not feel that way.
This is the worst. This is the worst written episode of the series so far.
No,
easily.
And it is. I feel like it's tying a lot together.
Such as.
Whereas it's. I forget all my points I had on this now.
Oh,
because I was thinking about this all day, and I've been drinking.
Yeah. I drink too. If I had to claim that I liked this series.
I just like where it's going. I think it's trying to say, I'm gonna remember once you start going. I know it, but to speak on the little quips that they've had from the Marvel properties. I mean, we got the Thanos copter. We got. I don't know if you saw it, but we got Thor in frog form in the jar. Did you see it? Did you see it?
Yeah, but okay. But what that Easter eggs do not a good show make.
No. I'm just saying it was just fun.
Good
like
writing.
this is what good fun was.
My God, Mjolnir was buried in the sediment of the Void World. Who gives a shit?
And then we got some awesome. Had nothing to do with Marvel. But the USSS, I forget the ship name, but it was from one of the Philadelphia Project. It was a lot. It was a couple different conspiracy theories that they kind of went around to in this, and it was just fun to see that
people from Roanoke should have shown up.
Not only, tied in some Marvel Easter eggs, but actually real world conspiracy Easter eggs as well, which was fun to me.
Yeah. So I actually did. I took some notes on this one because I found it so objectionable.
That's how much you hate this show. That's how much you hate this show. That because you force yourself to watch it, and you're like, no, I need notes. I need a notepad.
And there's a few things. Yes, I believe that this is the worst written episode of the series so far, and the worst written episode of any of the Disney Plus MCU shows. I love first of all the characters that we have beyond variant Loki. And even Agent Mobius, who is honestly, I mean, he's been taken off the board in an entire episode and then separated from Loki, and we haven't really gotten near. It's only a 6-episode series, so you take him out for one episode, you're going to lose out on a lot of what could have been a very good character. But instead, I feel zero for any character in this show besides our Loki, and I feel less for him than I did when I came into this series. You're telling me that Judge Renslayer is a great character, or Officer Fatty is a great character, or Sylvie Karen Loki is a great character. You even agreed that Karen Loki was underwhelming, not intimidating, not a great character, and I will invoke the departed from this episode, John Craig, sort of harken back to his talking about the Mandalorian when he claimed that the title was not about the Mando in the armor, but rather Baby Yoda. This one, the title Loki, this is a series now. It's blatantly apparent that this Loki title is about Sylvie. It's about Karen Loki. That's the story they're interested in telling. And we got multiple times throughout the series, like where our Loki from Phase 1, which, by the way, I will take you to task again for saying that we got Phase 1 Loki at all in this series, is complete and utter shit, Davis. He acts nothing like Phase 1 Loki whatsoever from the get-go, and hasn't at all. But this is a series that's a vehicle for Karen Loki and Sylvie. That's all this show is. I love in the 4th episode where we had to have a whole scene of Loki sitting with her and be like, "Oh no, you're amazing. You did all this as a little kid, and I suck, but you're great. What the fuck?" And he did it again in this episode. It's terrible.
I'm surprised you weren't a big fan of old Loki.
I'm getting there, and in terms.
Oh, okay. All right.
So if you want me to start with the positives, Okay,
You
fair
love your
enough.
old actors. You love them. Were they born before 1960? James is gonna love them.
Hey, Kirk Douglas is the true star of the silver screen, even in death. But yes, classic Loki was if you were looking for some type of high point in this episode, classic Loki is your Huckleberry. He was the best part, along with Miss Minutes, who I continue to be a fan of.
But do you think she's involved more so?
Yeah, probably, and they'll make that stupid too. Like if I'm being honest, like Miss Minutes came out a little bit tinged in this one as well in terms of her usage.
She's trying to hide some stuff. It was clear she was trying to, even from your favorite judge there,
Judge Renslayer. It just as a nothing. Like who cares about Judge Renslayer?
I don't think we're supposed to care.
How could you? We're
not supposed to care about her.
Why does she get so much screen time?
Because she's still like the sub villain. Like she's like the individual that's going to bring you to the villain.
I love
there's still no villain really outside of the TVA.
Early going of this show, there's a line where Renslayer is explaining how the TVA works and the sacred timeline, and Karen Loki just goes, "Nice, super believable," completely undermining your own show. Like what? Terrible writing, awful. Nice, super believable. I circled that one immediately. So yeah, and what I did like classic Loki. I thought that seeing the old school comic book costume, like that's fun. I enjoy that.
Oh, you're having fun.
Not usually, not in this show, but I did like him. I liked how his powers looked. Well, when we talk about more of the finale of this episode itself, him building the decoy city was cool. I do think he's still alive. He could be like he said, when he created an illusion so believable that Thanos couldn't tell that he was just debris. So he could just be that helmet. He could have convinced whatever that.
I mean, there is a big theory that this whole thing is just a variant Loki. And I think one of three, I think he is one of the top three ideas right now of who is going to be at the end of time, as they say, in the void here.
Well, I've heard Kang being bandied about.
Kang's been kind of teased quite a bit. Loki... a variant of Loki is, I think, is actually probably the going favorite right now. If I were to put some Vegas moolah on it and push chips in, I know because this is a Loki show, and I think when you're going with the God of Mischief, what better way to end it? So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe you shouldn't have started at all. Probably. How about, okay, I want to, this is another thing in terms of phase one Loki that you were so keen on telling us that we were getting in this show. Sure. Phase one Loki, who went toe to toe with the Avengers and was one of Thanos' chosen lieutenants in this war, gets completely treated like a bitch by Kid Loki. How'd you like that? How much phase one Loki did you get in this episode, baby?
I think he's grown, and we've seen through these episodes how he has probably gone into phase two Loki. And no, he is, he especially when you're meeting that many variants of yourself, stuff is going to change you. You're going to have a different of opinion on some things, especially when you're...
When did we get phase one Loki in this show, like you claimed?
From the beginning. And he's been growing ever since. And when you come across, as he did in episode 5, against so many different variants of yourself... He even said in his own words...
He even said in his own words that he wasn't even fazed by the alligator.
Exactly. But he's not surprised, because that's who he is. He could be anybody. Like, he understands the timelines now. He understands the variant process.
I know time moves differently in the TVA in terms of a passage experience, but very little has happened to this Loki to justify how he is now.
if you're gonna see countless Lokis now, like he saw so many.
Look, you didn't answer the thing. Kid Loki completely just upending the Loki that almost took out the Avengers.
At that point, he has seen how he is faulted and how he's just, his ways are not working. Like that is not going to go anywhere. And I think that's where you get the current Loki and in Endgame Loki is, you know, he loves his brother. You know, that's where the old Loki was kind of talking about how much he how much I missed Thor because Loki is this great hero. And therefore he brought up Asgard as his that was so good that was the final thing that he kind of brought up visually. Like that spoke, I thought that was very good writing. That's what he had brought up to kind of face the beast and try to get by him. I did like that. I like the fact that he had an emphasis on sorcery. Didn't like, you know, the continued undermining of Loki as the character. Oh, he's oversensitive, like the rest of us. You know, this freaking Loki psychiatrist couch that we're on. It's just continually just chipping away. The gator is sensitive, bro. Don't mess with him, dude. Yeah, too much alligator Loki too. I enjoyed it. I've turned off so much of my brain with a lot of this, and that explains why you're enjoying it, I suppose. But then when I thought about it and why Loki is doing these things, it makes a lot of sense. No, it does not. Loki's survive. It's just what we do. What the what? That is going to come back. And that is why they're trying to make that a thing. And it's just a lazy, Loki survive. Ooh, what is that? It's like the Tomorrow War that we talked about earlier, where it's very obvious that the volcano kid is coming back later. Okay. Yeah. When their hearts... Tomorrow War in the MCU, in terms of the world building, Davis, a little bit different, and the amount of source material to work off of. Yeah, well, you know, one's a throwaway popcorn movie. Could have been a trilogy, could have been, but no, I think that line, I think is one of the key points why we're going to get our end game villain here, which is a Loki. Yeah, what do you want to see from that endgame Loki? I don't think we're going to see much. I think he's actually probably going to be somehow connected to Kang, because I think they do want to get to Kang in the next phase. I think that'd be smart if they're going to go somewhere. But I don't know exactly what I would want to see from it. But I think it would end this series well. I would prefer it be a variant Loki compared to just being Kang and then throwing everybody into the Kang phase. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. They're throwing so much into this series that we're supposed to act like we care about anyway, that I wouldn't be surprised if it is Kang. And Kang's fine, but the idea that I'm supposed to nerdgasm over Kid Loki being involved or Lady Loki being involved or Frog Thor or anything like that is ridiculous. Killed Thor, Kid Loki. Also, one of the all-time worst child actors. The acting in this series, outside of Tom Hiddleston and sometimes Owen Wilson, is absolutely atrocious. And nobody. Old Terry and Loki. Oh yeah, classic Loki's eye. He only had one episode. No, I'm sure he was good. I'm sure if he was around for longer though, he'd find a way to fuck it up. He might be. You might see him next episode. Yeah, he could be. I do think he's still alive. There's a reason he was sitting on that planet for thousands of years. Oh my God! Yeah, let's talk about some great writing. No, this is our home. What? It is not their home. They are trapped in their self-described Shark Tank. It is not their home. That is absurd. I think
This is our home.
yeah, because they think they will be destroyed.
No, they have a free ticket out of Dodge, and they all of a sudden go, no, this is our home. Also, not to mention, they laugh in our Loki's face when he wants to try and concoct a plan. And then 2 minutes later, Kid Loki says, that's good enough for me, when Loki says that the female Karen Loki is the only one that he trusts and can take down the TVA. What? They laughed in his face a moment earlier.
They hadn't seen a female Loki before.
They hadn't seen her yet.
That is different. That is a different thing for them. They're like, whoa, we have a vagina somewhere. That's crazy. That's pretty cool. And especially with a teen Loki, he's probably pretty hyped about that.
Yeah, let me. This is maybe the worst of the show, where I think it's Kid Loki says that you're different, and our Loki says, no, I'm the same as all of you, but not Karen Loki. Have you ever seen a woman Loki? And classic Loki goes, oh, it sounds terrifying. And of course, Loki without mentioning, oh, she is, and she's different. She's the one that's different. This is a Sylvie show. It's crap.
It sounds sexist, James.
It's not. It's just the fact that it's just poorly written. And you agreed with me that Karen Loki has been incredibly underwhelming.
Yeah, up until I'd say the last 20 minutes of episode 4. Since then, I've liked her.
Why? What changed for you? She became the ultimate badass that knows everything?
No, not bad. I just felt more of a connection and more of a. I wouldn't say maybe her acting got better, but maybe she bought into it more at that point. I just feel like she's more ingrained into the show now, and her role is just a little bit better. So
let's circle back to, I suppose, if we must, Alligator Loki and
we must
the all too short appearance of Vote for Me Loki, biting his hand off like Chubbs and Happy Gilmore. What did you think of that? I could have done without especially the very cartoonish screaming of Vote for Me Loki.
Man, what his presence though, I will say, Vote for Me Loki had that phase 1 Loki.
It was the closest thing we got, but we got him for about 10 seconds. We got him for about 10 seconds.
That was like early phase 1 Loki there, probably. But I just like how they treated the alligator like a regular character, because they would do like screenshots to the reaction of each Loki. And then each time they go to the alligator. It's like it's the same look every time. It was great.
So hilarious, dude. So funny.
And
you know I go to laugh.
Come on, man. Thanos copter.
Dude, so funny. That's so good.
You didn't like the Thanos copter?
Dude, I don't like this show. And no no Frog Thor, no Thanos copter, no Alligator Loki is gonna be what pulls me into this.
But we weren't ever going to get those things elsewhere, so just throw us a bone.
No, that's fine. That's fine. If it was a bone thrown in a good show, then yes, it's some nice sprinkling on top of quality. This is sprinkling on top of shit.
Man, I feel like this is angel food cake.
I'm the same as all of you, but not Sylvie.
We got angel food cake with the vanilla frosting with sprinkles in this episode, and it was the best cake you've ever eaten.
I don't like angel food cake.
What?
Not a fan.
All right. Take note, everyone. This is the man that is leading you. You want to listen to this man that doesn't like angel food cake? That's unbelievable.
The continuing throughout the series mocking of the glorious purpose is as well. More undermining of phase 1 Loki, more undermining of Loki, the self-proclaimed of the MCU droids, the greatest villain we've ever gotten in the MCU, was burdened with glorious purpose. Well, I am burdened with purpose to tell you that this show sucks.
He found his glorious purpose.
How about it's propping up Karen Loki. That's his glorious purpose. How about when the fight breaks out after dude gets his hand bit off by Alligator Loki, that our Loki, the Loki that took on the Avengers and nearly defeated them and hatched all those plans and fought with them and, again, nearly killed multiple of them, is just dancing around, prancing around, avoiding fighting, not able to fight.
Smart man. That's what I call it. I call it intelligence. He's very smart at Loki, is what I see.
Completely unable to fight, to enter the fray.
Did he have a weapon?
He didn't need a weapon. He hasn't needed one. He's completely ineffectual compared to Loki that we saw in previous movies.
I'd say completely intellectual of dancing around and not getting in the way of people, murdering each other.
Okay, so you're right.
Hard to die when you're not in the fight.
No, you're right. And he totally escaped of his own volition. Oh, wait, no, he needed classic Loki, who was fighting to teleport them out of there. So,
who has thousands of years experience?
Yeah, no. But good move not helping them to ensure that his plan of escape would go off without a hitch.
I mean, it seemed to work.
Yeah, it did. Him just dancing around. Go back and watch that scene and tell me how fucking great it is. It was ridiculous.
I didn't say it was a great scene.
It was ridiculous.
He avoided everything. That seems like a smart man. That's what I'd do.
This episode, and I know I'm just a broken record here, but I don't care. I don't care. This episode was so bad.
Don't have to watch.
I do. Oh, but I do. And there's only one more episode, and then we're done. I am tired of all the mind-blown flame emoji MCU droid spewing fanatics out there. Then this takes me right into my next point. That Kid Loki, for as bad as he was, offered a new sort of mantra for me. And when he said, just because he's talking about Loki's plan, just because it's more complicated doesn't mean it's bad. And that's what Loki said. And Kid Loki offered back something that, like a ray of light, hit me for how I feel about the MCU lately. He said, it also doesn't mean it's good. And if you twist that around, just because it's more MCU doesn't mean it's good. Just because it's released doesn't mean it's good. And I'm here to shout that.
As long as you twist it around, as you said.
It's a nice new mantra. So thank you, Kid Loki, for that. Also, perhaps what should be the tagline of the entire series, it's best not to question it. When they're talking about Alligator Loki, but you can apply that to everything.
I love that line. It's like, yeah.
It's best not to question it is right, because it falls apart when you do. But what else did you like? Go ahead. I feel like I've been dominating the conversation.
I just feel like everything you said I've liked. And I'm just on the opposite end of you.
Oh, how about when
I enjoy, like, fun, lighthearted.
Yeah, so
things.
do I. Yeah, absolutely. Everything in its proper
good characters.
Yeah. Oh, really? What good characters have we gotten in this show that we didn't already have? Do you seriously think that Mobius is a good character?
I do.
What? Do you think that hug and they called each other friends at the end was earned? Because I don't. They've been separated for more of the show than they've been together.
But he brought him out of the weeds.
Even more unearned emotion than what they tried to pull in Suicide Squad.
When you wake somebody up from a lifetime of lies, I'd call that person a friend.
No. And even it's back-to-back episodes too, where they did the how about side by side with a friend, or how about trusting a friend, or whatever it was, and then the hug in this one, and then Mobius having I still like you the best to Karen Loki, because of course Karen Loki is the best. How about when she showed up into the Void world and completely just immediately shit all over Loki's plan. And Mobius, all he can offer.
It was bad.
all low T Mobius can offer is, yeah, she's pretty confident. It's like, give me a break, dude.
They laid her on pretty thick. I'm not gonna say they didn't, but
I like and then classic Loki. I mean, maybe he's me in spirit. When he's talking to Mobius, he says, just like that, you're churning on the very thing you devoted your life to. Now, I grant you that does sound like me in Star Wars, but I also harken back to, it's best not to question it. It's just best not to question it. How about the blanket scene with the two Lokis? We down for some variant incest?
I am down for variant incest. Quite interested that that a Disney Marvel show would do that, actually. And I find it compelling. How does that work? What does the kids look like? Are they twice as strong or are they twice as weak? I don't know. Because how does that biology work when you're actually doing yourself from another universe? That's how much you love someone.
Well, create the biggest Nexus event of all time, the Sexus event. I've got some more notes. Loki pulling an Ian Malcolm, trying to distract the cloud monster was funny to me. And like not funny in an intended way, like funny, haha, still stinks way. But I've got some other notes here. I think we're stronger than we realize. Once again, dude, you fought the Avengers.
But did he?
Yes, he did.
Did he?
Yes, he did.
Without an Infinity Stone.
He took on the Avengers
with an Infinity Stone.
So what?
He doesn't have that.
So what?
How confident should he feel without that?
The idea that we have a Loki that's not confident without an Infinity Stone is laughable to me.
No, I mean he's still confident in like his powers.
And it doesn't even jive with how he felt. It doesn't even jive with how he felt in this show. Because he's coming in talking about how he's the superior Loki and how great he is. And then all of a sudden, I think we're stronger than we realize. Dude went toe-to-toe with the Avengers. He got purposefully captured by the Avengers and didn't have his little Infinity Stone and still was confident in his plan. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is totally phase 1 Loki, dude.
It is. I still believe it. So, yeah.
And then the whole
you can't convince me otherwise.
All right, that's fair. I mean, I've laid out a lot of the quotes that I think are just trash writing. I skipped over that one officer that's now all pro Sylvie for whatever reasons, and is just completely completely snowed by everything. But it was great seeing Miss Minutes.
She's questioning everything.
I like that. Oh God,
watch out.
There are no.
Maybe Miss Minutes is controlling the TVA.
You know what? Honestly,
that's
I'd
number 3.
I'd be fine with it. Give me more Miss Minutes and less Sylvie, and I'd be totally down with that. Anything else I missed that you really liked? I feel like we've had a ball.
We have. This has been wonderful. I love telling you why you're wrong, and I love everybody in the Discord agreeing with me.
Yeah, that's great. Hey, man, all you MCU bots, good for you. That just everything that comes out.
We didn't like Falcon and Winter Soldier. I can't believe you think that show is better than this.
Just because it's more MCU doesn't mean it's good. With every passing episode of every show that they've released, it is only like, and I'm glad we brought back the podcast. Don't get me wrong. But I will say I was a much more contented man when it was roll credits on Endgame. It was just me and old man Cap being like, all right, we're done. So that's good. We had a good run. It's over now.
None of our current fans know what you used to be. You used to be so jolly and joyful and love things. Oh.
I'm glad you admit that, because until this, when I am now fully embracing that things stink.
I mean, it didn't last long. We might have got we might have got 2 years into the podcast and then things.
No, are you kidding me?
You had your joyful years.
I like lots of things, but just because it's a new shiny thing doesn't mean it's good. It doesn't mean we have to like it.
It doesn't.
Now, people argue I don't have to watch it, but I'm doing this podcast, and if you hear my voice, you're listening to it. So I do feel somewhat of a duty to consume some of it. Not all of it. What annoys me more are the morons out there that just like everything the MCU puts out because it has the MCU label on it.
Right.
You know, it's ridiculous.
I do know, and I do know how to pick from bad from right.
Do you? Well, no.
Just like Iron Man 3 was amazing.
Fuck you, dude. That's where it all started to go wrong. Oh my gosh. I'm just looking over my notes here, making sure I got everything. Let's see. Re-entering a Mobius, very lame car escape. That was really bad.
If we're gonna go toe to toe next week, I'm gonna write notes.
Yeah, good. Well, I mean,
I'm just going off.
I thought you'd be prepared this week.
I'm prepared. I watched it last night.
I wanted to get the quotes right because the writing was so bad. This is just
because it connected so well.
It did not connect well at all. No, it did not. Absolutely did not. No.
Everyone.
No. Nope. And this also benefits from the fact that the droids also want to love Tom Hiddleston so badly. Yet it's like the slow boil of a frog in water. They are killing Tom Hiddleston Loki with this series.
I don't think he's been like groundbreaking. You know,
no, he hasn't.
I mean,
he's been very good. He's very charming.
No,
but in this show, he's not been great.
He's a good actor, and I think he's been fine. But I don't think if you were to watch this show, you would be like, "Oh, I love Loki."
Yeah, well, if you watched only this show, you would hardly see him even look like Loki. He's wearing that stupid tie and shirt the whole time. Like, oh, but he can conjure up a little holder for his dagger that stupid ass kid Loki gives him. But we're still wearing the suit tie gimmick. What? Yeah, he conjured up the blanket too. But not anything that would make him look like Loki, because we'd hate to confuse the fans, because the Loki we care about is Karen Loki. So. There it is.
She doesn't look like a Loki either.
Yes, she does. She's got the horn gimmick on. She's got an actual outfit on. I grant you, she's terribly miscast, because we should have gotten the raven-haired lady Loki from the comics and gone with a more traditional costume. But be that as it may, we didn't get that. We got one more episode left, Davis. I cannot wait to talk about the finale with you. So
I can't either, James. I can't either.
So clear your schedule. Everybody get your popcorn ready.
Maybe a live viewing.
Can we do that? How's that?
A live watch?
Should we just pop on afterward and do something? We'll have to workshop that, but
yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, we could see that. I mean, I wish that we were watching the show together. I really do. Because I could just be giving you the side eye, throughout the entire episode.
I want to enjoy it. Like, I was like, I gotta listen to this a-hole all night.
Well, now you speak for the people. Now you speak for the people. I can think of no better place to end off.
Think of a theme line. I gotta listen to this a-hole all night. Yeah, that's the podcast.
Yeah, that is going to do it for this edition of the Best Damn Nerd Show. Have a great week, everyone. Even you MCU drones. Remember, if you're a nerd, always say it loud and say it proud. And it's best not to question it.